I'd like to talk about some of the more specific parts of the Grow Power Toolkit. The Early Childhood Mental Health Consultation Brochure and Program is a resource that's available to preschool settings as well as families to help identify some of the challenging behaviors in our young children. In Ohio, we are working on something called the preschool expulsion rate. And children often have behaviors that are so disruptive that outside help is needed to address. Our Early Childhood Mental Health Consultation Program has early childhood mental health consultants stationed around the state who can come in within a 48-hour notice to help address the classroom or specific behaviors that an individual child might be displaying. The consultant will work with the teacher as well as the family to make recommendations on how the child's adjustment might be better achieved and what changes can be made both at home or in the school so that our children can have a successful preschool experience. Another part of the Grow Power packet is our partnership with the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities. We have something called an early intervention program. We recognize that not all families or our children are the same. And for those children with different abilities, we have a special program called the Early Intervention Program. The Early Intervention Program allows specialists to come into the home and help parents design and understand the specific needs of their child with different abilities. This is an important program, and we want families in Ohio to understand that this resource is available, and it's available through the Ohio Department of Developmental Disabilities. Another part of the Grow Power packet is our guide for moms, dads, and other trusted caregivers. Mothers and fathers play a fundamental role in the success and development of their children, and we want to support parents in their work. The guide for moms, dads, and other trusted caregivers helps each group to understand how they can get the supports they need to be successful in their role. For example, mothers, particularly new mothers, can also be stressed. They can feel tired from having just carried and delivered a young child, and you need specific support. You need healthy, positive people around you. You need visits with your doctor, both your own as well as your baby's pediatrician, and you need support. And we want you and people that are with you and around you to understand your unique needs as a mother. As far as dads go, whether you are a traditional dad in a traditional family, or a father raising children on your own, or you are working to successfully co-parent your children, we understand that dads play a critical role in the development of their children. And that particular guide gives dads specific ideas and tools that you can use. We want fathers reading to children, singing with children, taking walks. We want dads not to work too much and understand that you are needed in the home in quality face-to-face time with your young people. We also recognize that grandparents and other kinship givers represent about 20% of the care that's being provided to young children. We want to thank you and acknowledge your role in supporting Ohio families. And we know that there are things that trusted caregivers need as well. We want you to understand what are the discipline protocols for a child. We want you to understand the most modern science on how we're keeping children healthy and free from accidents. And we want all caregivers in Ohio to understand the importance of safe sleep. Our Safe Sleep campaign means that we are working to make sure that all Ohio babies make it to their first birthday. The crib is the central part of that strategy, and what we'd like you to know is that cribs should be free from bumpers around the edges. Cribs should be free from extra blankets. Cribs should also be free from extra toys and things that might cause a smothering, breathing, or choking hazard. We want babies on their backs with this side up, and we also want you to know to monitor the crib for other unsafe hazards. Working together, we can improve the success of Ohio babies making it to their first birthday. An exciting part of the Grow Power packet is our partnership with the American Academy of Pediatrics. The beautiful Building Peace of Mind cards that I talked about earlier are 5-part series that first introduces what purposeful parenting is. And really what that means is that we acknowledge that as a parent, you are the primary teacher and supporter for your children. And we, your doctors, your other professionals and nurses, we are the support team to help you have a successful parenting experience. This role is so important that the American Academy of Pediatrics put together the 5-card set that talks you through what is purposeful parenting, the needs of your newborn, the needs of your infant up to age 1 year, the needs of your 2-year-old, we often call this the terrible twos, and the needs of your 3-year-old. We want you to understand that whether it's the 2-year-old or the 3-year-old, we don't see it as the terrible twos or the challenging threes. We see it as the most exciting time in your child's development. And when we want you to have the tools and the resources and the information you need to help navigate and guide the most successful parenting you can have with your young children. Another important piece of the Grow Power packet is the laminated food chart for preschoolers. America is experiencing an obesity epidemic, and we know that the best way to address this is in the earliest years. There have been changes in the Food and Drug Administration's recommended food eating allowances, and we want you to understand the changes to the food pyramid and what are the important food groups that young children need to develop their minds and their bodies in the best way possible. So the laminated food chart, food plate, is something that we want to see in your home, at your table, used every day to help you guide the food selections of your preschoolers, toddlers, and young children. And it's a fun conversation piece. Another important piece of the Grow Power Toolkit is the Flip It card. The Flip It card stands for feelings, limitations, inquiries, and prompts. We have found that this 4-step strategy can help parents turn a challenging moment into a successful moment by simply knowing what to do. I would also like to mention that we have training in the Flip It technology available to families around the state. And at the end of our video, we will run a prompt that will show you where to get that information. So the Flip It strategy is very simple. It would say to the young child, "Johnny, Johnny, it looks like you're upset." And Johnny might say, "No." And you would go, "Well, are you feeling angry?" And Johnny might say, "Yes." And then you would say, "Now remember, we don't break things here. We don't throw things here." Or if you're at the grocery store, we stay in the grocery cart. It's safer for you. And then you would ask Johnny, "Well, what could we do to make this better?" And surprisingly, children are pretty resourceful, and they will usually say what they need. The challenge is that we can't always give them what they need or what they ask for. So we ask you to go through a series of prompts. Well, would you like to have your juice? Would you like to read a book? Would you like your baby lamb? And by offering an alternative for the child, they will usually gravitate to one of the prompts that the parent offers. And within 10 to 20 seconds, the flip out can be turned around and a flip in, and everything is stabilized and your child is back to normal. Very important discipline strategy that we want parents to know about and we want you to utilize to have successful parenting and positive discipline with your children. The developmental wheels, another part of the Grow Power Pack, along with the growth chart, are all focused on the physical, social, and emotional development of your children. And when we get right down to brass tacks, that's the meat and potatoes of what parenting is all about. Making sure that your children develop physically so that their brains can be activated and fully utilized, and that emotionally they are stable, they are able to handle and express their feelings, that they can work independently or ask for help when needed. And that physically, they're getting the sunshine, the fresh air, and the motor activity that they need to burn off some of that energy that can often be mistaken for hyperactivity. Those 3 pieces of the Grow Power chart kit, including the chart, are interactive activities for parents and their children, and they're informational activities, and they allow you to know what to expect at any particular stage of your child's development. And I encourage you to make those active parts of your family's daily routine.